Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Let us start our reading. Standard 7, Unit 1, Idgah, Section 1. How wonderful and beautiful was the morning of Eid. The trees looked greener, the field more festive, the sky had a lovely pink glow. The sun seemed brighter and more dazzling than before to wish the world a very happy Eid. The village was filled with excitement. Everyone was up early to go to the Idgah. The boys were more excited than the others. They had been talking about it all the time. Finally, the day had come, and now they were impatient. They were taking their treasure out of their pockets, counting and recounting it before putting it back. Mahmud counted 1, 2, 10, 12. He had 12 coins. Mohsin had 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 15 coins. With this money, they would buy countless things: toys, sweets, paper pipes, rubber balls, and much more. The happiest of the boys was Hamid. He was only 4, thin, and poorly dressed. Last year, his father had died of cholera. Then his mother also died. From then, Hamid lived with his old granny, Amina, and was as happy as a lark. She told him that his father had gone to earn money and that his mother had gone to Allah to get lovely gifts for him. This made Hamid very happy. Hamid had no shoes on his feet. The cap on his head was soiled and tattered. He knew that his father would come back with sacks full of silver and his mother with gifts from Allah. Then he would have more than Mahmud, Mohsin, Noore, and Sami. Hamid's granny Amina was sad. It was Eid, and she did not have even a handful of grains. If only her son were there, it would have been a different kind of Eid. Amit went to his grandmother and said, "Granny, I will be the first to get back. Don't worry." Amina was worried. Other boys were going out with their fathers. How could she let him go to the fair all by himself? Amit left with the other boys. Amit was like one with wings on his feet. They ran on ahead of the elders and waited for them under a tree. They reached the suburbs of the town. On both sides of the road were big houses of the rich. In the gardens, mango and lychee trees were full of fruits. Then they came across the stores of the sweets vendors, all decorated so gaily. Every store had sweets piled up in heaps like mountains. Section 2. Soon the roads began to get crowded. Some people were on tongas and ekas, some in motor cars, all wearing perfume, all bursting with excitement. The children were a calm and contented lot. For village children, everything in the town was wonderful. Whatever caught their eye, they stood and gaped at it with wonder. At last, the Idgah came into view. There were row upon row of worshippers as far as the eye could see. Newcomers lined themselves behind the ones already there. The prayer was over. Men embraced each other. They descended on the sweet and toy vendors' stores like an army moving to attack. There was the merry-go-round with wooden elephants, horses, and camels. You paid 1 paisa and had 25 rounds of fun. Mahmud and Mohsin and Noore and other boys mounted the horses and camels. Amit watched them from a distance. All he had were 3 paisas. He couldn't part with a third of his treasure for a few miserable rounds. They were soon done with their rides. Then it was time for the toys. There was a row of stalls on one side with all kinds of toys. Soldiers and milkmaids, kings and ministers, water carriers and washerwomen, and holy men. Mahmud bought a policeman in khaki, with a red turban on his head and a gun on his shoulder. Mohsin bought a water carrier, while Noore got a lawyer. Those toys cost 2 paisa each. Amit had only 3 paisas. How could he buy such expensive toys? If they dropped out of his hand, they would be smashed to bits. If a drop of water fell on them, the color would run. But he looked at them hungrily and wished he could hold them in his hands for just a moment or two. After the toys, it was sweets. Someone bought sesame seed candy, others gulab jamuns or halwa. They smacked their lips with relish. Only Hamid was left out. Thank you.